Well, hello. Welcome back to the channel, baby. As I stole that from another channel that I love to watch, reaction channel. Welcome back to Cover to Cover. Most of you by now know what this is. In case you don't, basically all I'm doing is I'm reacting to songs that I like, and then I'm finding unusual covers or just popular covers or whatever of the same song. And that's all I'm doing. This was suggested by Kent, I believe. Let me make sure. Kent, don't take offense, but I want to make sure I get it right. Took a picture of it so I would see it. Yeah, Kent K requested this, and so I'm going to let it rock and roll as soon as I can plug my phone in. There it is. Guys, forgive me again. We talk about this. I am doing all this stuff by the seat of my pants. We're learning as we go along, but this is going to be Joe Walsh, Rocky Mountain Way, which I love the song. I love Joe Walsh. When he stopped drinking, I think he even got to be a better musician. And so this is Joe Walsh at the Crossroads Guitar Festival almost 20 years ago. So it's 18 years ago. So we're going to check it out, and then after that we're going to do Triumph. So Kent, get ready, because this, you suggested this. Let's see how it goes. All right? All right, head in the box. Head out of the box. Here we go. All right, here we go, guys. Girls. Headphones on would be good. Okay, stopping it only to say that there are some iconic guitar licks that as soon as you hear it, no matter what it is, Highway to Hell is one of those for me. This is one of those, of course, anything by Zeppelin pretty much. But this one, as soon as he hit that first lick, and of course it's Joe Walsh, so everybody knows what's coming up, all right? But it's an iconic lick, man. It's great. All right, here you go. Back to it. Sorry about that. Yes, that guy. so before we move on to the next one, you probably noticed me taking a lot of notes. And normally I would just go right into the next one, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to ask a few questions, make a few comments, and then we'll discuss a little more after the Triumph one. And it's also live. But so just a comment is that I love the Rickenbacker, and I had not seen one in a while. I sold them for a number of years, and the Rickies they just have a unique sound. But then he switched over, and I couldn't tell if it was a Fender or Gibson. I'm sure you guys know, but it was a double humbucker. It's completely different pickup configuration when he went to the mouth thing, which very was cool. I'm not a guitar player. I have guitars hanging in the back, as you can see. But I was wondering about the slide. The way he's playing it, is it tuned a certain way in order for him to play the slide and not play like additional fingers? He's just basically holding the slide, not moving these fingers at all to fret, right? Just the slide. So is there a tuning to that? And if there is, do you tune to the song? Or is there just an all-around tuning that you can do to play the slide? I would love to know that, because I love the slide guitar on a slide. I've never used it. You know me, I'm a keyboard player, as you can see in the background. I love to own a Hammond. I've played them. I never owned one. I had a Portabee, and then I had a CX3 Korg, and they were fine for the sound. I wasn't real impressed with the organ player. He looked bored, and he did this choppy stuff that, and again, I'm a kid compared to these guys as far as this kind of music. If I had a chance to play with him and take a ride, dude, I'd burn that place down. But maybe he plays with them all the time, and he's like, all right, I've done this song a billion times. I'm just going to do some choppy stuff. I wasn't impressed. I'm sure he's a very impressive keyboard player, a lot better than I am. Those guys look older, but I've probably been with him a while. That was another thing I want to say. I've not really seen the Joe Walsh band. I've seen him with the Eagles, and listened to his albums, but this was good. They were very tight, very good. Was he sober? I wrote that down. I think he was. This is 2004, but I don't know for sure. So let me know if you think he was sober in 2004. I know that he got sober when we saw him with the Eagles. He'd been sober a while, and he wrote a song called About Being Sober, which I love. I can't think of the name of it offhand. And that's really all I had for him written down. So we're going to do the Triumph now. And I loved Triumph back in the day, probably like everybody else. They had a couple radio hits, and they were cool to like in the 70s and 80s. But I have not listened to anything by Triumph in so many years. So we are going to listen to this. This is Rocky Mountain Way live in Halifax. So here we go. So I didn't read the whole title, but before I chose this one, I listened to like a couple seconds of it. 1987, guys, that's a long time ago. That's 35 years ago. So they're younger. Yeah, I don't even know if they're still around. If you know, let me know. Okay. Sorry about that. Back it up. And here we go.
Past
So, man, I got a lot to say about that whole thing, and we'll try to keep it a little bit short because these videos are really long. You guys are so patient to stick with me when I do these. Okay, so the first thing I wrote down was that the drummer was singing the vocals, and it had that, it was 1987. It had that kind of timbre to it, right? I mean, it was great. It was fine. He has a great voice. But and of course it was 1987. It's the first thing I remember. But the vocal sounded like, okay, this is from 1987 easily. I mean, it's got that. It's hard for me to explain, but I think most of you know what I'm talking about. The first guitar he played before he switched was a white guitar. I think it was a white guitar. Was that? I know the bass player played a white guitar, but was that an Ibanez? I couldn't tell. It had kind of the Ibanez headstock. Sounded great, and of course I don't know what they're running all that stuff through, and it had 2 single coil pickups, and so yeah. Again, guys, correct me as needed. I won't bother my feelings at all because the movements that they were doing is kind of back and forth where they're all kind of going this way, going that way. Is very 80s, close. The bass break was fantastic. I thought it was really good, and he played a lot of stuff with the drummer, and then he did some stuff where he did octaves by himself, sort of, that didn't necessarily tie into what the drummer was doing, but the groove never left. The groove stayed there. I will say that didn't happen in the last solo with the guitar. The guitar came back, he did some solo stuff. He had changed guitars, he went to that red guitar, and it was great, it was fine. But then at the end, when he just started playing all the superfluous kind of stuff, it didn't interest me at all. It made the video too long. But now, it's there live, right? I wasn't there live. Maybe live I would have a different opinion. I don't think so. Because I like things to be musical, and if it's just a bunch of noise and notes, it's... and I tell you where I get that from is years ago I was playing in a band, and I would play everything I knew how to play in a solo, in 5 minutes, less, than 45 seconds. I play everything I know, fast as I can. And I was playing with an older group of guys, and, they liked me and I respected them, and they needed a keyboard player, and I was the guy, right? But I remember I think it was the guitar player come up to me and said, man, that solo is just so superfluous. And I was like, I didn't know what the word meant. I had to look it up. But it basically meant that it's just a bunch of stuff that you don't need. It's like a big salad of stuff, and then you decide you're going to put raisins and grapes in it. And it's like, why? It was great the way it was. Or I'm just going to dump, everything that I have into this soup. Why? I mean, and that's what he was saying, was to be more tasteful in your solos. And I get that they were a big rock band. They were doing that kind of Eddie Van Halen sort of thing. Van Halen came on, changed the game to the 80s. But I didn't like that part of it at all. That's just me. You guys liked it. That's fantastic. So we're going to edge out of here. I don't really have anything much else to say. I thought the production was great. I thought the sound was great. I did think there was a lot of dated stuff, but they're dated. That was a dated show, right? So it was, years behind the one we did with the first Rocky Mountain Way that we did with Joe Walsh. It was 17 years behind that about, and so the Joe Walsh was closer to where we are now, but it was still almost 20 years away. So, but I like the Joe Walsh better. Of the two, Joe Walsh was a better performance for me. I'm 60 years old. I've seen him a couple times, so Joe Walsh is my guy. Not saying anything bad about the Triumph show, though. I can imagine it was great. They did a great job. They're all excellent musicians. Please comment down below and let me know if they're still around. I mean, they'd have to be in their 60s or 70s at this point. So if you like the video or like the channel, please hit like. Subscribe. I've got 25 subscribers now. Most of them are my family, but that's fine. Hit the notification bell. Share this with your friends and comment down below. That's the thing that's going to get your songs and things that you want to see me react to on here, is if you let me know in the comment section. All right, listen, I love you guys. Peace, and we'll see you all in the next video.